Welcome to the semester finale of Cat Chat, brought to you by Vangos alongside Sean Kelly. I'm Pete Francis, and Sean, the NMU hockey team, was back at home this weekend, and they had a series split with Bowling Green.
That's right, Pete. The Wildcats opened up this series Friday night against the Falcons from Bowling Green, and things didn't go as planned as Bowling Green jumped out to an early 1-0 lead in the first period. They would add another one by a goal from Mark Rodriguez, which would be the game winner. NMU would add another goal from Phil Fox in the third. However, it wasn't enough as the Wildcats lost 2-1. Reed Ellingson did have 26 saves in that game. Saturday night, it was a lot better for the Cats as they jumped out early, just over a minute into the game. Phil Fox added his second on the weekend. He would add another one in the period, and Bowling Green would close the gap to 2-1, but in the third, the Cats pulled away with a 5-1 victory.
Now, Sean, one of the big questions entering this year was, with the departure of Mark Ulver, who would fill the scoring void? But Tyler Garon has really been playing well.
He has. He had 3 points this weekend, all coming on Saturday night, and he stepped up wonderfully for the Cats. Coming into the year, he had two big second halves his freshman and sophomore year, and his junior year, you really look for him to make the jump, and he has this year. He has 11 points on the season, and things are clicking for him right now.
Not only has the offense been stepping up, Sean, but the defense is playing pretty well now, too.
That's right. You play these games as they go on. We've talked about how young the defense is. And the defense, they're starting to play a lot better. Coach Walt Kyle has used different combinations, as we've seen through the weeks here. But he's starting to find out who his core players are. And as the season goes on, I only expect him to get better, and the defense should improve along with the penalty kill.
Well, now, Sean, the team is currently 5th in the CCHA, and they're heading to Alaska for a series with the Nanooks, who are currently one spot ahead of them. That's
right, Pete. It's a big weekend for the Cats as they travel to Fairbanks to take on the Nanooks of Alaska. Northern has currently 10 points, as you said, sitting in 5th place. Alaska with 12, sitting in 4th. Alaska did win one in Miami this weekend, and I think Alaska will ultimately sweep. They're a really well-rounded team, the great goaltending in Scott Greenham. I think it's going to be tough for the Cats. Alaska also has some good offensive players. And with Northern's questionable goaltending right now with Carew and Ellingson seemingly splitting time every weekend, it's going to be tough for the Cats to come away with something, but you look for them to maybe get 3 points, and I think that'd be considered a victory for the Cats.
Well, it usually is a pretty good matchup, so let's hope the Cats can get some points. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be joined by Bryce Burge to recap the NMU football season. Stay tuned.
Attention Wildcat fans! Vangos, the longest-running pizza parlor in Marquette, is a proud supporter of Cat Chat. Located on 3rd Street, Vangos is your neighborhood bar and restaurant with takeout and delivery. Open 7 days a week, Vangos specializes in only the freshest ingredients. From the dough to the pizza sauce made from scratch, Vangos uses the freshest vegetables for all pizzas, soups, salads, and specials, and has the best homemade food in town. Vangos, come taste the difference.
I just saved $44 on 3 of my family's medications with the MKS Prescription Saving Card.
Stop into your nearby Snyder Drug and start saving with the MKS Prescription Savings Plan.
I'm Northern Michigan linebacker Eddie Knobloch, and this is Cat Chat.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Bryce Burge. And Bryce, it was rivalry week for the NMU football team as they went to Houghton. Unfortunately, they didn't leave with the Miners Cup.
No, it was a tough 12-0 loss. Horrid conditions to play in. Lots of emotions going around for both teams. Lots on the line, and Michigan Tech was able to come out with a 12-0 victory. It was the lowest scoring Miners Cup since the trophy started to be exchanged, and it was a tough way to end the season.
All right, well, with the season coming to an end, Bryce, it's time to hand out some awards. Let's start with the Offensive Player of the Year.
This one's going to be kind of a non-conventional pick for your Offensive Player of the Year, but I'm going to go with center Andy Vasquez. If you saw it throughout the course of the season, you had 2 different quarterbacks, sometimes up to 5 players taking snaps once the Wildcat offense started going in. You had no fumbles whatsoever from the snap to the quarterback or whoever was taking the snap, and he had some pretty low penalty numbers as well. And that consistency is what you're looking for in a strong offensive player.
Okay, how about the Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm going to go with Zach Anderson, the defensive lineman. At 60 tackles, and it was first for Northern in tackles for a loss, sacks, and forced fumbles for the defense. That was the top defense in the GLIAC this year.
Okay, who do you have as the newcomer of the year?
I'm going to say John Privatelli. He's a running back. He transferred from a community college in California. He led the team in rushing as different injuries started to affect the offense on the offensive line a little bit. And obviously with Carter Kopak, he came through, and he didn't always have the best numbers, but you knew that you could rely on him to do what he could. And that was very much needed and appreciated this year for somebody who just came to the Wildcats program.
Okay, and finally, Bryce, who's your team MVP?
Without a doubt, it's Eddie Knoblauch. He led the team in tackles and picks. He scored 2 touchdowns on 2 returns of over 50 yards on pick returns. The 83 tackles too. That's more than Zach Anderson's second place with 60, and you got a bunch of guys with 50. He's just everywhere out on the field, and he really threw in a bunch of roadblocks for the other team's offenses.
Alrighty, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll tell you how the men's basketball team this weekend, and we'll have the latest edition of Dan versus the Man. Stay tuned.
Attention Wildcat fans! Vango's, the longest running pizza parlor in Marquette, is a proud supporter of Cat Chat. Located on 3rd Street, Vango's is your neighborhood bar and restaurant with takeout and delivery. Open 7 days a week, Vango's specializes in only the freshest ingredients. From the dough to the pizza sauce made from scratch, Vango's uses the freshest vegetables for all pizzas, soups, salads, and specials, and has the best homemade food in town. Vango's, come taste the difference.
Welcome back. The men's basketball team hit the Sailfish Classic this weekend, and they managed to split their 2 games.
Yeah, the fast break by the lake down by the seaside had kind of unfavorable wind conditions on that first game, as they lost 77-60 to host West Palm Beach, but they were able to turn it around with a 69-61 victory over Lynn University. Jared Benson was the top scorer for both games for the Wildcats, and you saw a lot of good play by a lot of the new guys too. Also, Milo Murphy did play. I know that we had talked about that last week about whether he would not play or depending on how his concussion injury was coming, but he played in both games and had a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, definitely good to have him back. Through the first 2 games, Bryce, is there anything that's really stood out to you?
The number one thing has been bench play. If you look at the points scored, you look at the shots, there's, it's pretty well spread out through the Wildcats' depth. Lots of people playing lots of minutes, and when you are able to do that, then you're going to have fresh players. You're going to have solid people that can go out and they can really make a big difference. And it is in the beginning of the year, so you're going to see a lot of bench play, but that will give the necessary experience. If for like an injury or something comes up later in the year, then they can come in and step up and be a member of the team pretty well.
All right, well, it's time for another edition of Dan versus the Man, and this week Dan challenges junior guard Devin Scott.
Welcome back to another episode of Dan vs. the Man. Today I'm here with Devin Scott, NMU basketball player.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good.
We're going to play a friendly little game to 7. You think I got a shot against you?
For sure.
All right. All right, maybe. All right, we'll give this a shot.
Here, boy.
Well, clearly I was no match for you. NMU, they're gonna have a good year. Play this guy. He's just on fire. You looking forward to the season?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Can't wait to get out there.
Well, it's been another fun episode of Dan vs. the Man, and we'll see you later.
All right, thanks, Dan. That's going to wrap up this semester for Cat Chat. Make sure to tune in next semester when we come back in January. You can follow with the latest updates on Facebook and Twitter, and our website, catchattv.org. For Bryce Burge and the entire Cat Chat crew, I'm Pete Francis. We'll see you next semester.